Hello and welcome to the Society of Anglo-Chinese Understanding Podcast. This episode is part of our mini-series on Chinese clothing, and today we look at contemporary Chinese fashion, in particular the new Chinese style, Xinzhongshi. I will be speaking to a Shanghai-based designer whose own work weaves the styles of China's past into contemporary fashion. Last year, a 19th century jacket became a viral fashion trend. The Tang jacket, or Tangzhuang, is a classic of Chinese clothing that developed during the Qing dynasty. It is a short, boxy jacket with an upright mandarin collar, fastened at the front with toggles. You might recognize it as being worn by foreign dignitaries when visiting China for APEC summits. What made this particular Tang jacket so distinctive was its maker, Adidas. Released for Shanghai Fashion Week as part of a series for Chinese New Year, the jacket bore Adidas's distinctive 3 stripes running down the arms and had a looser fit than a traditional Tangzhuang, more like a tracksuit. It was originally exclusively released in China, but following its popularity on social media and much discussion on global fashion forums about where and how to obtain one, at the start of 2026, Adidas also released it in its European stores. This synthesis of athleisure and a Chinese classic is just the most high-profile example of a trend that has slowly built momentum over the past few decades, the new Chinese style. Sometimes called the neo-Chinese style, this is a contemporary fashion trend which uses traditional items of Chinese clothing to create everyday wear for the 21st century. While other revivals of traditional Chinese clothing, such as hanfu, are designed as costumes for special occasions, the new Chinese style integrates tradition into ordinary life. Cheongsams, Mao suits and other classics are being brought into modern fashion by Chinese designers. Accessories like the hebao, an embroidered drawstring purse, originally used to carry perfume or given by lovers as a token of affection, can be reimagined as handbags. The new Chinese style has also been applied to architecture and to furniture design. It is a way for designers to draw on history without being bound by the strict rules of traditional styles. To learn more about contemporary Chinese fashion and this particular trend, I spoke with Liu Yansong, a Shanghai-based designer. In 2022, working with former Vogue China editor Austin Wan, Liu Yansong founded AOYES, an independent fashion label that has been recognized as producing some of the most interesting clothing in the new Chinese style. Liu Yansong, thank you for joining us.
Hi everyone, I'm Yansong.
Could you start by introducing yourself and AOYES to the listeners?
AOYES is co-founded by me and my partner, Austin Wang. And Austin was a former senior fashion editor at Vogue China, and I graduated from Bunka Fashion College, Tokyo. And AOYES is a fashion brand built on the concept of modern Oriental culture. It is a hybrid of Chinese heritage and high fashion. We want to present a bold reinterpretation of the culture, combining Chinese elements with modern style. And maybe the audience can check our homepage. You can see our choice of fabric and design details express freedom, fluidity, and avant-garde vibe. So we want to appeal to those who love the intersection of art, culture, and fashion.
And what are the ideas or philosophy that underlies your work as a designer?
First, it comes from a pure passion for fashion and a desire to explore something we don't know. All the ideas are based on our own cultural background, and we trying to integrate our taste into the world with the modern aesthetic. But right now, clothing is just one way for us to express this.
Who do you see as the audience for your work?
At first, our earlier customer was people who are very sensitive to fashion in China, often insiders with the industry. But at this stage, especially after our Zara collaboration, our audience has become much more broader. And for our brand positioning, the keyword is intellectual. We imagine our customer as someone who is educated, polite, forward thinking. And in our generation growing up, intellectual was a very important word. It represents a desire for knowledge and the ideal kind of person we want to become.
And can you tell the listeners a little bit about your latest collection?
This Spring-Summer 26 theme is inspired by the poetry writer Yu Dafu and capturing the romantic mood of the spring night. We use the sheer fabric, floating fabric, to look like the spring breeze, and the floral embroidery that shimmers with vibrant vitality. And the key elements in these collections is hebao. And hebao is a traditional Chinese pouch. We reimagined the hebao waist purse into a functional item for the modern life. And we also use the butterfly elements, just like the origami butterfly. This is inspired by the butterfly lovers story. This is a very famous classic Chinese love story. We use the butterfly shapes on colors to symbolize the romance. And the last one is our very signature design elements is panko ribbon tie. And this is a updated traditional Chinese frog closure. And we want to mix the traditional with the modern bow tie. This is where East meets West for our perspective.
That's really interesting. I just want to ask a follow-up question to that. Why did you choose draw on the hebao?
And hebao is the item has a very good meaning, because if you have a good hebao, you can get wealth. You can be lucky. So we also call the hebao in China. We call this is our lucky bag of our this spring summer collection. Yes, this is a very popular item of this season.
And just what you mentioned at the start about the influence of a particular Chinese poet on your work. Why were you thinking about that particular poet when you were designing your work?
Every season, we will have a theme. We will have a theme for the design development and the design research. And I think the poetic is very important for an independent designer's label, because we have to unify the aesthetics. And the poetic theme is very easy for us to our audience storytelling.
AOYES has sometimes been identified as part of the new Chinese style, 新中式. How would you define the new Chinese style? And do you think the description is apt in your case? And do you think the new Chinese style is still a useful classification in 2026?
Actually, at the first, we started our brand. Austin and I resisted this 新中式, the new Chinese style label, because we just want to be a fashion brand with our own Chinese aesthetic. But for now, after 2 seasons, finally we accepted it. Because for the business side, it is very useful. It helps buyers quickly understand AOYES style. And this is the first step is very important, because once they have that first impression, then we have a chance to show them the specific story in more details. So the chance is very important for me. So now we accepted the label of new Chinese style for us.
And what would your definition of a new Chinese style be? How would you describe it to someone from a Western audience?
The new Chinese style is very hard to define perfectly, but to me, it simply means Chinese aesthetics in a modern life. This is my answer, yes.
I think that's probably a good way of putting it. I am interested that you originally resisted the label. Why did you feel the need to resist it?
I talked a lot these questions with Austin, because we don't find in fashion industry, we don't know there is a new some style in the other country. Just like new Japanese style,
Yeah.
new British style. I think the new Chinese style is just for in our market. And the stereotype for the new Chinese style is very old. And that is not in style. So at first, we don't like this label. We don't like the people call us, yes, you are a new Chinese style brand. But for now, I think the new Chinese style is also diversity. So we accepted it.
As a label, do you think it's still a useful label in 2026?
Yes, I think it will be useful in the future for us because actually AOYES give a new answer to the new Chinese style. So the people in our market also understand the new Chinese style is very, very broad. So I think AOYES now is one of the new Chinese style brand.
Yeah. I've read previous interviews with AOYES in which it was suggested you are not trying to create something specifically Chinese that people would only wear on a special occasion, as people might with hanfu, but to try and break stereotypes about modern Chinese clothing. Could you explain what the motivation is behind this idea?
Well, we didn't start a very big, complex goal. Simply, we want to make the clothes that represents our own taste, something missing in this market, that young people may like it. It came from a natural desire to express ourselves. And we believe new Chinese style should be diverse. There are so many traditional Chinese clothing labels, and this market is already very, very full, I think. We want to do something different, something new, and something interesting.
Your work is clearly influenced by traditional Oriental styles. How do you balance embracing these themes while avoiding cliché or preoccupations with authenticity?
Actually, every season we start a new thing, and our most important rule is AOYES must be a fashion brand first, and the core is a modern Oriental aesthetic. So the clothes and the style must fit modern life. And we believe cultural confidence doesn't mean always staying in the past. To pass culture down, it must be modern and accepted by the new generation. If tradition feels like a heavy mountain, it will be hard to innovate. We want audience to be relaxed, fresh, and engaging. And I think this unique, relaxed approach is why international brands, just like Zara and Nike, wanted to collaborate with us.
And you've also collaborated with Disney, is that right?
Yes.
How did those connections come about?
You know, the international brand, they want to approach the local market. They have do some localization project. And for Disney, we have retail partnership with Neighborhood. You know Neighborhood?
Yes, of course.
Yes, this connection is from Neighborhood. And and also the Nike. Nike is also, the connection is also from Neighborhood. But Zara is we get the collaboration chance just directly from the Zara headquarters because they have the consultant in China. So the consultant saw us.
It's interesting you mentioned Labelhood because around the time this podcast will be coming out, they will be doing an exhibition at Harrods. For the listeners who might not be aware of Labelhood, how would you describe Labelhood? What is Labelhood?
I think Neighborhood is a very special company in China. They have the fashion festival, fashion show, and they also have the retail store, and they also have the incubate function for the new brand. And when we started AOYES, Neighborhood supported us from the retail and the merchandising and the fashion show. I think this is very helpful for a new brand in China.
You are a Shanghai-based company, Labelhood are a Shanghai-based company. I think anyone who's been to Shanghai will have noticed it's a very fashionable city, and that the people in Shanghai, just in the street, in my opinion, are distinctively dressed from other Chinese cities. Do you think Shanghai has a special role in China's fashion ecosystem?
Of course, I think Shanghai is the most fashionable city in China now, because Shanghai has the fashion history. And also, Shanghai Fashion Week, I think, is the most energy and most interesting fashion week in the world now. And I think the most important reason is Shanghai have the powerful supply chain for the designers label and also for the commercial label.
That's so interesting. Can you tell me a bit about how that supply chain affects your work and how AOYES work?
I think the distance is very important. The supply chain factory distance is very important for the designer's brand, because we have to research and we also have to quick response, and we have to check the sample every day. So the distance and the speed is most important to make a real brand, because fashion is we have to product the physical product. So the distance, the speed, and the supply chain is very important for a brand.
And you said Shanghai Fashion Week is the most exciting in the world. What is it that makes Shanghai Fashion Week distinct from any other fashion week?
I think Shanghai Fashion Week is also representative for the Chinese fashion market. China has a very huge population. Means there is still a massive market and many possibilities.
So my next question is the way that Chinese people, and specifically those who are interested in fashion, think about Chineseness in clothing changing?
The new Chinese aesthetic is getting deeper and developing, and consumers are becoming more open to accepting many different kinds of product with Chinese elements. Of course, including the fashion.
And looking ahead, what is influencing your current ideas for design?
We are focusing on being inclusive. We want to be very relaxed about the traditional Chinese rules. Since we started AOYES, we have always wanted to make AOYES with an international perspective. We hope to find our audience globally and share our Oriental aesthetic with more people around the world.
And is there anywhere in the world you're particularly looking towards at the moment in terms of fashion?
Of course, London is also one of our goal.
Great answer. Excellent. And London does have a really interesting fashion scene as well. Have you been to London?
Just once. After I graduated from university, I went to London for a small trip.
Oh, it's a fantastic city. You mentioned not wanting to worry about traditional Chinese fashion rules. What are those rules, and how are you trying to move past them?
The old traditional Chinese clothing, they have a lot of details rules, just like right front or left front, which one is up, which is down, and how many of your button quantities. And this is very detailed rules for the fashion design. But for now, the people, they are more open and they want to see the new design. They want to find more modern, more globally, more daily life wear. So we have to break the rule, and we have to find something new. We have to find the consumer's needs for right now. So that's why we are AOYES. That's why AOYES is more and more popular in our market.
We were talking earlier about the new Chinese style, and you were speaking about the role of fabric and textile. Which textiles and fabrics do you find it most interesting to work with in terms of when you're designing Oriental influenced fashion?
To use the traditional Chinese fabric is very important to us. And especially we use Chinese silk fabric, and we also realized the European love this silk fabric. from the Silk Road. But
Yes, of course.
yes, and in our Spring/Summer 26 collection, we use the Shantung fabric. Shantung fabric is a very traditional Chinese silk fabric, and the fabric has nap, but also have the matte silky. I don't know how to describe this, but I mean the fabric is very famous, but now young people, they don't know that it's made from China. And a lot of international brands are using this fabric, but we think this is also our responsibility to find the old, good quality Chinese fabric and to make the clothes to the consumer now, and to let the young people realize the Chinese fabric is very good, is very important to us too.
With these traditional fabrics, are there ever any challenges with the supply chain or getting the right material?
We all know China is called world factory.
Yes, absolutely.
So the fact is sometimes the supply chain is very complicated to us. They want to make new things. They want to make make partnership with the designers label, but they are used to make mass production. So if our order is very low, they don't want to make our order. So this is a difficult point to us. But for now, more and more factory, they are turning their opinion because the order from the world is reducing. So they think the Chinese designers label, maybe they have low order, but we also can collaborate with it. I think this is also is also good for us.
Yeah, of course. That's really interesting. What do you see in the near future for Chinese fashion?
I think the international buyer will more and more to see the Chinese designer, because there are also some Chinese designers debut in the London Fashion Week or Paris Fashion Week. So in the future, I think there will be more and more designers join the International Fashion Week and meet more and more international market buyers. I think I'm positive attitude in this industry.
Excellent. So finally, if listeners in Britain would like to find out more about your range or shop for any items from AOYES, where's the best place to look?
For the international consumers, for maybe the consumers from UK, and I think Essence is the best way to shop for AOYES. And of course, the consumer can also check our homepage, and we also upload some archive pieces in our homepage. And of course, we hope that we can have UK retailers selling AOYES in the future.
Excellent. Yeah, fingers crossed. Liu Yansong, thank you so much for speaking to me.
Thank you very much.
That was Liu Yansong from AOYES in Shanghai. This episode of the Society for Anglo-Chinese Understanding podcast is part of a mini-series on Chinese fashion. By subscribing, you can find other episodes in which we learn about Hanfu and the costumes of traditional Chinese theatre. The Society for Anglo-Chinese Understanding is a charity which has worked to promote understanding and friendship between British and Chinese people since 1965. If you would like to find out more, you can go to sacu.org. If there are any other topics you would like to hear more about, or if you have any feedback on the podcast, please contact us via the email address in the show description. This podcast was written, produced, and edited by me, Joseph Edmonds. The music is Chopin's Grand Vase Brillante, Opus number 18, produced by Gregor Quendel at Classics.d and released on the Creative Commons license.